You are going to create a beautiful life for yourself. It might not be easy, and you probably won't know exactly how it's going to unfold, at least not right away. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means you're in the middle of it. There are times in life when everything feels confusing or unfinished, like you're stuck in between the chapters. But I think some of the most important growth happens in those in between spaces, the quiet, blurry parts where you're just figuring things out. Because life is full of chaos, so many moments that feel like everything is happening. Heartbreaks, big decisions, tiny little spiraling moments we swear will define us forever. But most of the time, they don't. Most of the time, they pass. When I zoom out and look at the bigger picture, I remember we're all just these strange little creatures stuck on a floating rock in space, trying to make meaning where we can. Trying to have the most fulfilling experience we can with the time that we've been given. And maybe that's all there really is. Trying to build a life that feels meaningful, not perfect, not constant, just honest. And maybe beautiful. As a multi-passionate creative, I sometimes feel kind of scattered. I never want to pick just one thing, one style, one medium, or one path, and honestly, I'm not sure if I ever will. I'm learning that not knowing how it's all going to come together doesn't mean that it never will. It just means that it's still a process, and it will probably always be a process. There's an art to knowing when to follow the spark, when to let an idea pull you in, even if it doesn't make sense yet. And also knowing when the answer isn't more stimulation, but rest, stillness, slowness, letting things breathe instead of forcing them to bloom. Lately, I've been working on some smaller painting studies. Not anything to make some huge statement, not even to share necessarily, but to get my hands moving again and to reconnect with the quiet part of myself that just wants to make something without a deadline, without a plan, without the pressure to impress anyone. Sometimes that looks like painting clouds or soft skies, things that don't carry a heavy meaning but still hold something calming. They give me space to breathe, to stop spinning for a moment and just be. It's not always about what the piece becomes. Sometimes it's just about the act of showing up, of letting my mind settle into my hands and letting something take shape. And in those moments, even when they're small, I remember why I create in the first place. Not to prove anything, but to feel something, to find stillness, and to remember that I'm alive. My creative process is usually meditative. I'm not saying I always feel super grounded when I'm creating, but it's usually how I come back to myself. It's how I quiet the background noise when everything else feels loud. And I know sometimes that can look a little self-indulgent, maybe making art when the world feels like it's burning. But honestly, the more I think about it, the more I believe that tending to your nervous system is not selfish at all, and it might actually be one of the most responsible things that you can do. The world doesn't need more people acting from panic or burnout. It needs more people who feel connected, people who can respond instead of react. And I'm not saying I've mastered that, but I'm trying. And for me, creating in any form is one of the ways that I get closer to it. This phase of my life has brought up a lot of questions about what home really means. For a long time, I thought home was a place, a city, a house, a room that felt right. And while I think about it, I think that's part of it, but I don't think that's the whole story. I think home for me is more of a feeling now. It's those quiet rituals that I come back to, the way light moves through a space in the morning, The act of making tea or lighting a candle or sitting down to paint, and I don't feel like myself. It's not always pretty or peaceful. Sometimes home is a pile of clothes I haven't put away yet or a list of things I forgot to do, but it's mine and it's real. I don't always feel rooted, and I'm learning how to make peace with that too. Maybe feeling at home isn't about arriving at some perfect version of your life. Maybe it's about learning to feel safe and okay wherever you are, even when things are changing. There are still questions I don't have answers to, like what I'm building long term, what kind of a legacy I want to leave, what I want people to feel or learn about when they encounter my work. But I'm realizing more and more that I don't have to have all the answers to keep going. I just need to keep showing up, to keep tending to those moments that make life feel meaningful. Because sometimes it's the smallest things that bring me back to myself. A piece of music, a color I love, the feeling of sun on my face when I step outside. The other day, I made a pair of shorts, just a simple pair for summer, and later I wore them while lying around in the hammock, just watching the leaves move above me and listening to the wind. It was nothing special, but it also was. It felt like a soft kind of joy, a reminder that I can make things with my hands and live in them, literally wear them, breathe in them, exist in them. And that's not nothing. And that's what I want more of. Not big ideas and huge projects, but peace. A body that feels safe, a home that feels lived in, a day that ends in contentment, even if it started in chaos. So, no, I don't have it all figured out. I'm still wandering a little, still stitching things together as I go, but I'm learning to let that be okay, to make space for softness, to create from where I am. And if I can end the day feeling calm or curious or even just okay, that's enough. And that's a good day.